Hello, amazing people. I'm Flic Manning. It's time to empower ourselves with the knowledge to expand our minds and the skills to help us build the best version of ourselves. Today, I'm going to share how to own your mindset with one tip. Now, before we get into the tip itself, like everything in life, context is king and queen. And so I'm going to just build a little bit of a framework around this because when you get that tip, I want it to hit you like click. I just want things to start making sense for you so you can immediately begin to apply this to your life, because at the end of the day, if you don't apply it, nothing's going to happen. So let's get into the context first of mindset itself. Now, I speak about mindset all the time. I'm constantly talking about it with people from all sorts of different backgrounds, ages, clients from all sorts of different industries. And if you were to really line all these people up side by side, you'd say there's so much that differentiates them. But what I have noticed is that there is a pretty common thread that seems to run through most people, regardless of that differentiation, in terms of their understanding and the way that they apply mindset to their lives. And so what I've really discovered is that most people have really been trained or conditioned by society into thinking that mindset is a singular thing, like a teeny tiny entity that's encapsulated just in this one little bit of their brain. And it's almost as though they have no connection to it, as though it had been installed by somebody else. And they feel like they don't really have any ownership over it, no real influence or power related to it either. And due to that combination of the singularity and that detachment to the concept itself, then when people try to adjust their mindset or they try to craft it in some way, it ends up sort of falling down. It doesn't end up sticking. And as a result of that, then people get really discouraged about trying to even approach their mindset at all. I mean, we've all been there. The more times you do something and it doesn't work, the less likely you're going to have the courage to get up and try it again. So that's why I think this tip is really going to change the game for you, because it's all about actually reframing it. So, you know how I said at the beginning that people are really thinking about mindset as a singular thing? Well, I don't want to preempt it too much, but I have to say that when I learnt this kind of blew my mind, and I really feel like it's going to for you as well. So this is it. Mindset is not singular. It is a set of minds. I know. Just think about the word. Just put the visual in front of your mind for a second. Mindset. It's kind of been there the whole time, staring at all of us. And yet we've just sort of twisted or made it a little bit funky in terms of how we actually view mindset. But the reality is it is a set of minds. Now, what we know from modern science is that we actually have more than one mind located all around our body. And these mindsets are actually designed to work cohesively together to create a collective. And it's in that alignment or in that cohesion that we create the mindset. That's what makes it stick. That's what makes it work for us. So let's just go through those minds one by one so that you can really lay it out for yourself. Now, most people will think of the mind again as being in the brain, and that is definitely one of them. But we also have mind in our heart, we have mind in our gut, and we also have minds located in our somatic system. If you're not familiar with the somatic system, the easier way to really think about that is it's where we emotionally process, store, and experience our feelings and our emotions. So for a lot of people, that will end up being their hips, their pelvis, their bottom. And interestingly enough, and again, have to say another thing that kind of blew my mind when I first learned it, is that we already have language in place that very clearly details our experience of each of these minds talking to us, communicating with us to help us to start to craft our life in a way that's actually going to work for us. Yet we've not really known scientifically that that's what's going on until recent times. And I'm positive that you will have heard some of this language before. In fact, you've probably even said it yourself in a variety of different ways and a whole bunch of iterations. So you've got things like, that made me feel sick to my stomach, or my heart just wasn't in it, or, I just can't wrap my head around this, or that thing has become a total pain in the ass. And we say these kinds of things all the time without, as I said, really knowing why we've been saying them. So when you really consider that reframing of mindset to a set of minds, and you start really thinking about that holistic, cohesive nature of our body, just in the same as all of our other systems and organs, every one of them affects the other one. So it makes a lot of sense when you think back through the past and go, well, no wonder our mindsets haven't been sticking. No wonder we haven't felt like we can own our mindset. We've only been approaching it from the one mind, the brain mind, not all these other minds that are trying to actually work with us. And like, as I said, everything else in the body, it requires alignment for it to actually click. Now, we all kind of know that it's basically impossible to feel like you own something if it doesn't even feel like it belongs to you, and if you feel like you've got no influence or power over it. And I think really that's the crux of it for so many people, is because of that conditioned thinking, not just the singularity of it, but that concept that we don't really have any influence over it, we then feel like, all right, well, it has nothing to do with us. It's sort of out of our power. And we then kind of imagine that in order to change that, we've got to go off and like Google how to get a growth mindset or how to get a leadership mindset, and sort of imagine like as if we're downloading a file into our brain and then just expecting it all to click, software updated, away we go with a brand new mindset. Well, we now know that's not really going to work for us. So the importance of this reframing is actually in that you will be able to then approach your mindset correctly. So as you then go to make a change, an adaptation, adjust something in your mindset, you're going to know very clearly that it's not just about approaching it in the isolation of your brain. You need to actually then think about how you're listening to, nurturing, supporting, or tweaking all of the other minds so that they work together. And these minds really encapsulate our mental, our emotional, and our physical experiences of life. So everything that we think about, consume, the people that we hang around, all of our outside influences, as well as our internal genetics, the way that we've been raised, the food we consume, the social media that we are scrolling through all the time, all of these things, of course, are going to play influential roles, but they ultimately all channel through the mental, the emotional, and the physical experience. And then each of those minds, the brain, the heart, the gut, and the somatic brains, are then going to be talking to you to tell you, hey, this is working for me. No, it's not really. I need to kind of adjust things here and there. That is going to be such a superpower for you to be able to tune in that way. So let me give you just a quick example. So if you want to go and apply this concept now, let's say you've got some critical thinking going on up in your mind. You've got some negative words that are swirling around in there, and you know they're not really helping you. They're not nurturing you, and they're not helping your body or your brain to feel any good. So you want to go ahead and change those. Now, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. Honestly, I will be in the background going, I love this for you. You go for it. Get it done. But the superpower kicks in here. You're going to know now that when you go to adjust that thinking, you will also then have to be listening to the other minds and thinking of ways that you can gently tweak, nurture, and support them so that they become cohesive, and that mindset will then click. Not just because all of them are in alignment, that actual mindset being true to itself, but because that power allows you to feel that it belongs to you, that you actually own your own mindset. Because at the end of the day, you do. It is yours, uniquely yours. So I know that this is going to empower you to get out there and actually give it a go. And over the coming, minutes, days even, as you start to unpack this new concept of mindset being a set of minds, I encourage you to sit in your human body. I encourage you to learn to listen to those different minds as they are communicating with you, because it's a fundamentally important practice anyway, but it's going to allow you to really approach any changes that you make to your mindset with that full level of influence, power, control, and enthusiasm that is going to be required for it to be uniquely yours and for you to feel like you can genuinely own your own mindset. I mean, it's pretty amazing the stuff that we can actually influence and control in our own world. And I just know, I feel it in my bones that you're going to get out there and you're going to do it so, so well. So again, just to recap, because I really want to drive this home, I want you to just have that moment where it clicks in for you. Your mindset is not singular. It is a set of minds. I know. Mind blown. Every time I think about it, I have that kind of like goosebumpy moment, and I hope that you're getting that too. That's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. Now remember that your knowledge can only become your power by applying it. Click like, subscribe, please share this with your friends. I'm Flic Manning. Until next time.